going to look at evaluating numbers that have been raised to negative indices. First common question you need to understand is about reciprocals. The reciprocal of 5 is 1 over 5. The reciprocal of 2 is half, so 1 over 2. And the reciprocal of 3 is 1/3. So when you've got a whole number, the reciprocal of the number is 1 over that number. If we have a fraction, 3/4, the reciprocal of 3/4 is 4/3. If I have 5/7, the reciprocal of 5/7 is 7/5. This means that when you've got a reciprocal of a fraction, you flip the fraction down, so the denominator becomes the numerator, and the numerator becomes the denominator. Reciprocal is y to the power of -1 in algebra. This means we've got 1 over that number. So reciprocal means to the power of -1. In general, y to the power of -n is 1 over, so the negative part comes into play, and then y to the power of n. So if we take examples bearing this rule, y to the power of -n is 1 over y to the power of n, we can find that 5 to the power of -2, using the rule, is 1 over 5 squared, and 1 over 5 squared is 1 over 25. 4 to the power of -3, working through it, but 1 over 4 to the power of 3. 4 to the power of 3 is 64, so that becomes 1 over 64. And if I've got 10 to the power of -4, that is 1 over 10 to the power of 4. 10 to the power of 4 is 10,000, so it's 1 over 10,000. You may get negative fractional indices, and these work in exactly the same way. In general, if I've got y to the power -m over n, the negative part tells us it's 1 over y to the power of m over n. From our previous podcast on fractional indices, we know that this m means we need to, depending on the number square, cube to the power of 4 to the power of 5, so we're raising that number to that particular power, and the n tells us that we find that's the root of that number. So if we look at 125 to the power of -1/3, this means I've got to write it as 1 over 125 to the power of 1/3. This means I've got to find the cube root of 125, and the cube root of 125 is 5, so it simplifies to 1 over 5. 25 to the power of -1/2 is 1 over 25 to the power of 1/2. The power of 1/2 is the square root, so I need to find the square root of 25, which is also 1 over 5. And finally, 8 to the power of -2/3 is 1 over 8 to the power of 2/3. This means I need to find the cube root of 8 and then square it. The cube root of 8 is 2, so I square that, and 2 squared is 4, so I just 1 over 4. So then we have our our negative indices. Y to the power of -n is 1 over y to the n, and y to the power of -m over n is 1 over y to the power of m over n.